We have John Boehner. John Boehner is on national TV on This Week, ABC. He says something that's so remarkable to me that this alone should be the basis for his ouster. But he won't be removed. Do you want to know why he won't be removed? John Boehner raised on his own $118 million for the House races in the last cycle. He's bought loyalty from these members. He withholds money from those who don't goose-step to his demands, and he gives money to those who do. He also has enormous influence with the National Republican Congressional Committee, and he whispers in their ears, or his people do, to support this candidate and don't support the other. A lot of our Tea Party conservatives who won elections, they want them in tough districts. They want them in close races. John Boehner has bought his speakership, and he's bought loyalty to his speakership. There's something horribly wrong with that. So there he is on ABC's This Week. Now, we can at least all agree, can't we, that financially the country is in an absolutely imperiled position. Disastrous. Absolutely, and it's right on our doorstep. It's not tomorrow, the next day after that. $90 trillion in unfunded mandates. In unfunded entitlements, I should say. $90 trillion. Increases every year from anywhere between $4.5 trillion to $7 trillion. Unbelievable. The fiscal operating debt is almost $17 trillion alone. That doesn't even count the entitlements. The Fed is on QE, whatever it's on, quantitative easing, which is a fancy way of saying printing money. The Fed is, in essence, giving itself credit to buy debt. Debt piled on top of debt. Spending piled on top of spending. The Social Security Administration issued a report just a few months ago. And they said about Social Security and Medicare, and yes, Medicare is part of the Social Security Act. What did they say, Mark? I'll read you. Both Medicare and Social Security cannot sustain projected long-run program costs under currently scheduled financing, and legislative modifications are necessary to avoid disruptive consequences for beneficiaries and taxpayers. Lawmakers, this is from their trustees. Lawmakers should not delay addressing the long-run financial challenges facing Social Security and Medicare. If they take action sooner rather than later, more options and more time will be available to phase in changes so the public has adequate time to prepare. And if not, kaput. Social Security and Medicare. Trillions of dollars. Trillions of dollars. This is like the seventh or eighth year in a row these trustees have been ringing the alarm bells. That time is coming. The time is coming. The time is coming. Paul Ryan was on my program, I'd say year and a half ago, more like a year and a half ago. And he said, among other things, when I asked him, I put it to him, we have 2 years. Well, that was a year and a half ago. And we have 2 years to what? As I like to say, the laws of economics will trump the laws of politics. And if we keep waiting, by the time we get around to it, it won't matter. That's the point. That's the point. So under these conditions, under these circumstances, which are known to you and me and anybody who pays attention, the Speaker of the House of Representatives The House of Representatives, which under the Constitution has to give birth to tax bills and to spending bills. What did the Speaker of the House have to say on ABC's This Week with Martha Raddatz? Hat tip, the right scoop. Cut 3, Mr. Producer. Go.
Is he right that we don't have an immediate crisis?
Obama.
We do not have an immediate debt crisis.
Stop. I'll let it continue in a second. We do. It's a definitive statement he made. We do not have an immediate debt crisis. In other words, the system didn't collapse today. Is that the definition, ladies and gentlemen, of an immediate debt crisis? No, let me give you an example. You have a leak in your house, a water leak. Some pipe in the ceiling is leaking. It's getting all over the drywall. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, the leak. The water's starting to drip down. Now it's starting to pour down. Now, let's say you have a 2,200 square foot house. Well, it's just a little puddle on the floor. Well, Mr. Producer, do you have an immediate crisis on your hands? Okay, he's confused. Yes, you have an immediate crisis. Because if you don't fix that thing, the ceiling's going to cave in, the water's going to spread, your house will be flooded, and everything in it destroyed. You don't wait till the house is destroyed to say that you have an immediate crisis. This is the Speaker of the House, a Republican. What else did he say, Mr. Producer? Go.
We all know that we have one looming. And we have one looming because we have entitlement programs that are not sustainable in their current form. They're going to go bankrupt.
How long do we have to solve our problems?
Nobody knows where this is. It could be a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years.
Stop. It could be could be a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Is that not an immediate crisis? Yes, it's an immediate crisis. It's staring us in the face. It's slapping us in the mouth. Every serious person in a position in the federal government to ring alarms is and has been ringing alarms. The former Comptroller General of the United States, David Walker. The former Chief Actuary of Medicare and Medicaid who just retired, Fisher. The trustees for Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid. All of them. All of them. And you see the numbers? It's looming. It's looming. These programs are in existence. The printing is going on. The borrowing's going on. The spending's going on. Indeed, in the face of this, do you realize we're expanding these programs because more and more people are retiring faster and faster? And on top of all this, we have Obamacare, the biggest monster of them all that affects each and every one of us. That they dared to put that monstrosity on top of all of this? Not immediate. It's a year, 2 or 3. A year, 2 or 3? That's urgent. That's an emergency. It's not looming. It's here. It's an immediate debt problem, a crisis, which is exactly why they don't know what to do about it. They don't know what to do about this crisis. They're trying to decide whether to make political decisions or the right decisions. That's why they're pretending it's not a crisis. They're worried about the politics, not the economics.